The news from the UK is that Brexit will not go forth on All Hallows Eve as scheduled. Here to talk about it is UK resident, citizen, and managing editor for LibertyNation.com, Mark Angelides, from across the pond. Hi, Mark.
Hey, Scott. Thanks for having me on.
Well, you're welcome, and you are, of course, our point person, the official scorecard keeper of the Brexit information. What is happening with Brexit, please?
Well, Brexit is not going to happen on October 31st, as was promised by Prime Minister Boris Johnson on numerous occasions, even going so far as to say he would rather, quote, die in a ditch than let it carry on beyond the 31st, but that's exactly what's happened, Scott. Brexit will not be happening on October 31st, and in fact, with the new flextension being offered by the European Union, questions are abuzz as to whether it's ever going to happen at all.
I hear a new word there, Mark, flextension. It sounds like an invention for a new way to perhaps put one over on the people. How do you define it?
Funny you should say that, Scott, but yes, that's pretty much exactly what it seems to be. So the EU member states, the 27 remaining member states of the EU, got together and agreed that instead of just another extension on top of the two that have already been granted to the UK before the UK can actually leave the EU, is now it's flexible extension periods. So, for example, now it's up until the 31st of January, taking us into 2020, but there are different periods within now and then at which the UK can leave. So perhaps November the 15th, if everything is sorted in Parliament, in the British Parliament, then Britain can leave on the 15th. If it's sorted by December 15th, then they can leave on December 15th. But what this actually does, it really ties in for, technically speaking, I would say up to 3 more years of EU rule regulation in terms of the judicial response, the courts, the ability to set our own trade tariffs and deals and things like this. But yes, flextension, it's a trap.
And what happens next, Mark, in the process?
Well, what happens next, Scott, is there's a choice between the British Parliament deciding to vote for Boris Johnson's Brexit withdrawal deal, which a lot of people suggest it's more of a surrender document than anything else, or Boris Johnson can convince the Parliament to hold a general election, which is a strange situation for a British Prime Minister to be in, to actually be begging for an election. If he gets the election, and if he can get along with him many other parliamentarians who support Brexit elected, then there's a good chance that either Brexit will happen via Boris Johnson's new treaty, or it will become a clean break Brexit, what's wrongly known as a no-deal Brexit.
From across the pond, unfortunately, we're going to need many more of these updates. I predict, Mark. I'm sure that you are in the same boat as I am, as wishing that wasn't the case. But we thank you anyway for joining us. Managing editor for LibertyNation.com, Mark Angelides. Please go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. It makes a difference. We all appreciate it. Thanks for joining us.